Hi, Justin Thompson here at Smail Honda in Greensburg, PA. Here to take you on a ride along on the brand new 2018 Honda CR-V Touring. Come on, let's check it out. Now the 2018 Honda CR-V, it's going to be exactly like the 2017. So for those of you who visited the video online for the 2017, you're going to be familiar with the 18. You're going to have the LED headlights. Also, you're going to have the LED daytime running lights. Got the fog lamps as well. The chrome accents all around the vehicle. Also with the Touring model, you're going to see the 18-inch wheels here, and they're very distinct between the different models. You're actually going to see the black paint on them versus a gray paint for some of the lower models. Again, the chrome fixtures on the side there, the accents on the back bumper here as well. Now you also have the Touring badge on the back to indicate the top level with the CR-V sign and also the all-wheel drive. Dual exhaust, chrome exhaust. And with the CR-V Touring model, you're going to have the open and closed hands-free access power tailgate. All you do is simply just walk up to the vehicle and you're going to do a kicking motion right under the center of the bumper. You got to make sure that you have the key fob on you. And all you do, one swift motion there, and it will open up the back tailgate. This is great for parents that are juggling the groceries and the kids at the same time and just don't have a hand free to open up the vehicle. So in the back of the CR-V, you have a lower level with the setting here. That's so that you can put your groceries around and they'll pretty much stay contained in the back. However, if you need a flush surface, you just lift this up here. And then if you want the seat back, all you do is you can simply pull this handle here instead of opening up the door and putting it down manually. So when you're already in the back, all you do is just put that down. The seat's gonna fold down flat. The other side does the same. So 60-40 split folding seats in the back. And you can see all the room that you're gonna have all the way up front. It's all the way to the back of the vehicle. Now the Touring model does have the 1.5 liter turbo engine, and that's combined with the CVT transmission with the vehicle. That's continuous variable transmission. That's the acronym. And that's gonna give us 190 horsepower with the 1.5 and really, really great gas mileage. You're looking at a combined 29 miles per gallon between city and highway driving. You do have the Smart Pass keyless entry system. As long as you have the key fob on you, and you probably remember me demonstrating this for the 2017, I have the key fob in my pocket. All I do is simply walk up to the vehicle and you're able to unlock the car. Simply touching the very top of the handle where those ridges are, that locks the vehicle up. Unlock and lock and walk away. Also in the front of the vehicle, you're gonna notice somewhat of a triangle sensor up top. Also there's these 4 blue sensors above the stock number there. The one on the left hand side, that's the camera that points out in front of the vehicle for your lane keep assist system. Also, your adaptive cruise control. There's a sonar in front of the vehicle here that will actually calculate distance and speed, both for the adaptive cruise and your forward collision warning system. And then you also have rain sensing wipers for the Touring model as well. You do have a standard remote start. Now this is for the EX model and above. So just to refresh your memory, you have LX, EX, EXL, EXL with navigation, and then the Touring model. So all you do is hit the lock button twice. You're gonna see the lights flash. Hold the circular button down for about 4 to 5 seconds till you see the lights flash. You can release it. It'll start up, run for about 10 minutes. It also blinks 6 times. That way you can see it inside of the house to make sure that it remote started. Again, it will run for about 10 minutes and then shut off automatically. That way it doesn't run you out of gas. If you're really, really low on gas and you remote start the car, it's gonna shut it off automatically. Again, not to run it out of gas. You can remote start the vehicle twice before you would have to get back into the vehicle and manually start it up. That's so that one of your buddies doesn't remote start your car all day long and run you out of gas. If you ever want to turn it off, you just hit the circular button, hold it down for a few more seconds and it will shut off. Now I just wanted to show you another thing. Let's say you wanted to put the windows down but didn't want to remote start the car. So you got a nice sunny day, it's warm, but you just want to get some fresh air in there. You just hit the unlock button twice. One time, and the second time you hold it down, and as long as you hold it down, we'll open the windows and the sunroof. So if I hold it down the full way, it'll go ahead and open everything, including the sunroof. Okay, before I put the windows up, I just wanted to explain something. Sometimes we get out of a vehicle and maybe the window's down or slightly down enough that maybe somebody could reach in. Well, we want to put that window up. So we open up the car door, get in, hit the access button twice and manually put up the window. Well, now you don't have to do that anymore. So with the windows being down, all you do is take the actual key out of the key fob. There's a little tab aside. You pull it aside, pull the key fob out, or excuse me, the key, put it in the actual key, into the door, and then you're gonna click it once left and then one more time and hold it. So one time to the left and one more time and hold it, and continue to hold it, and it will put all the windows back up, including the sunroof. Well, let's take it on the road. Well, with the 2018 Honda CR-V, you're gonna see all the options are actually the same as the 2017. So anybody that watches 17 video is gonna be very familiar with this. So you're gonna have power windows, power locks, and power outside mirrors. They're also heated outside mirrors, so anytime you defrost a rear windshield, you're gonna take care of the outside mirrors automatically. You do have automatic headlamps. You can keep it on auto all the time. You don't have to worry about forgetting to turn them off at night and chance draining your battery. So you can keep it on auto. You also have the fog lamps, but what's really great is you have the automatic high beams at night, and they'll come on and off automatically. Now, with the Honda CR-V, with the EX model and above, you're gonna have what's called Honda Sensing. So the Honda Sensing, you have blind spot monitoring on both sides. Also, you have what's called road departure or lane mitigation. Okay, and what that does, the on button is actually on the dash on the left-hand side over here, so you want to see a green light. And what that does is that's going to keep you centered in the lane whenever you're driving. Now, you also have what's called lane keep assist system, and that mainly comes into play when you're over 45 miles an hour. There's actually a camera in front pointing out in front of the CR-V, ready to map out the lines in the road. And that lane keep assist system is activated on the right-hand side of the steering column. I'll get to that in a second. Below the road departure button, you actually have an off button for your forward collision warning brake mitigation system. Now, I would never ever disengage this. I guess there's some people out there that wouldn't like this feature. I think it's a great feature. What it entails, if you ever have a situation where you're coming up to a red light and let's say traffic was backed up and completely stopped and you just weren't paying attention, and you look up and all of a sudden there's somebody in front of you that's completely stopped. Usually under 15 miles an hour, what the vehicle will do is it will indicate on the dash for you if it's going to have an impact. Again, it calculates distance and speed. If it senses there's going to be an impact, it's going to say brake on the dash. If you don't apply the brakes yourself, it'll apply the brakes automatically for you. Now, in situations, at slower situations, you will stop completely, especially if pedestrians walk out in front of the vehicle at a crosswalk, it'll stop as well. At higher speeds, it may not stop you completely, but it will definitely slow you down. Also, you have adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist system. Now, those acronyms show up on the dash here, and by hitting the main button on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you're going to bring up ACC, adaptive cruise control, and LKAS, lane keep assist system. You need to see those acronyms first. That's how you get the system started. And then simply for adaptive cruise control, all you do is set it whenever you're out on the road. And I'll demonstrate this for us whenever we get out on the road, but adaptive cruise control with Honda, and the CR-V especially, has an extra feature. It's called a slow follow mode. Now, most manufacturers out there, their adaptive cruise is shut off at 25 miles an hour, and the driver needs to be aware of that and ready to brake the vehicle whenever it gets under 25. Ours takes us all the way down to 0 miles an hour without you touching anything. You can set up the sensitivity levels on a lot of this stuff. The adaptive cruise you can do right here on the dash, or excuse me, the steering column. There's a little car icon on the right-hand side of where you set and reset the cruise control, and you can just tap this button and it actually changes the sensitivity level, how far a vehicle will stop in front of you for the adaptive cruise, which again I'll demonstrate for you. A couple other things, you have the rain sensing wipers. So all you have to do is set it on auto for the wipers, and as soon as it rains, it'll automatically turn the wipers on for you. Something to keep in mind in PA, anytime your windshield wipers are going on, it will actually automatically turn on your headlamps, because that's something in PA that's a law. It's a state law. Whenever it's raining and you have your windshield wipers on, your headlights need to be on as well. So the system will do that automatically for you. You do have navigation with the Touring model, as well as AM/FM stereo with Sirius satellite radio, which is free for 3 months. Your full connectivity on the cell phone, so your smartphone connection. I actually have my Apple phone connected right now. I just wanted to show you on the dash. You have Apple CarPlay here. All you do is simply click on that, and some of the supported applications I have on my phone show up here on the touchscreen. And this is going to allow me to make contacts, make phone calls, outbound and receive inbound phone calls. I can listen to all my iTunes that I have downloaded on my phone, and I can even send text messages hands-free by using the voice command button. I'll actually use a long hold on it for a few seconds, and it will bring up Siri, and I can ask Siri to text message anybody in my contacts list. Now Honda does this wirelessly, they have the connection, and they have their own text messaging capability. However, I feel that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto works just a little bit better. You also have your Google Maps on here. Even though this particular model has navigation, let's say you were in an EX or an EXL model without navigation, you can use your Google Maps or excuse me, your Google Maps on your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and it doesn't cost you a thing. Now it does use up some data, but most of us have the unlimited data plan now. So any supported applications will show up here. You have some fast tabs on the left-hand side to navigate through some of the other features. And if you hit the Honda symbol, it takes you right back to the main Honda screen there. You also have dual zone climate control. You can set whatever temperature you want on both sides. And then just hit sync to sync them up. Any temperature that the driver has will override the passenger. Electronic parking brake, you simply lift up on the mechanism and that's going to set the brake. To release it, there's no handbrake or foot brake. You simply just press on the brake on the floor and press down on the same mechanism to release the brake. Just so you know, if you ever have the emergency brake on and you put the vehicle in drive and you hit the accelerator, it is going to release a mechanism. So that's a sign of relief for those of us who actually had an emergency brake on when they've driven away with the vehicle and forgot that they actually had it on. So that will never ever happen with the CR-V. It'll release the brake for you automatically. You do have heated seats for the driver and the passenger. You do have an automatic dimming mirror. The sunroof, of course, one touch all the way back and one touch all the way forward. You have your HomeLink system for the garage door openers at home, so you can sync those up. And lastly, you have the Econ button, which you can use out on the highway on your long trips when you're not taking too many hills, and it will maximize your fuel efficiency for you. So I have the vehicle in drive, I have my foot on the brake, and I take my foot off the brake and we're not moving anywhere. So this is great on a hill so you don't drift in the car behind you or in front of you. And then all you do is just tap the accelerator, releases brake hold. And like I said, when you bring the vehicle to a complete stop again, it'll hold. There's actually an indicator on the dash that says hold in green bold print. And that's how you know you're able to take your foot off the brake. And again, you can do this all day long. And even before I get to 25 miles an hour, I'll hit set for the adaptive cruise and it defaults me to 25 miles an hour. So it'll at least take me up to 25. I can increase my speed right here on the steering column by pressing the plus button or decreasing my speed by pressing the minus button. If I hold those buttons in, they'll either increase or decrease by 5 mile an hour increments. So if you want to get up to speed quicker, you can. So I'm going to pull out onto the road and I'm going to hit set right away. And it sets it to 25. And the car icon actually came up right away with a car shaded in. That's how I know that I can trust the system to brake and accelerate automatically. The vehicle is actually braking in itself. We're under 25 miles an hour and we still have the adaptive cruise working for us. And it will actually go all the way down to 0 miles an hour. I haven't touched the accelerator or the brakes since we left the dealership. This does it all on its own. It'll say stopped if you've been sitting stationary for a few seconds. And then all I do is hit the plus button or tap the accelerator to get me going again. Tell you what, this is really, really good in those traffic situations where you're not at a dead stop, you're kind of moving and stopping and going, stopping and going. This is really great. It's going to keep you at a certain distance from the vehicle in front of you. And rest assured, if anybody does hop out in front of you, you have your forward collision brake mitigation system to take over as well. While we're at the stoplight, a couple other things I wanted to mention. You do have a nice stereo system in here. You do have a subwoofer as well to add a little bit more sound. Great stereo for the touring model. You do have memory seats for the driver's side, both position 1 and 2. What's really nice about these, the key fob actually says driver 1 or 2 on the back of the key fob. So depending on who has it, when you actually access the keyless entry system, the Smart Pass, as soon as you open up the door, depending on what key fob you have, 1 or 2, it'll actually adjust the seats accordingly to what it was set at. So if you know, the wife is driving the vehicle one day and the husband takes a CR-V the other day, he simply just has to put his hand through the handle and it will set it to the second setting that he had. So I'm going to try to demonstrate the blind spot monitoring here. Hopefully I don't get stopped at this light here. So right there we have the truck that's in our blind spot, and as you can see, you have that orange light that shows up. So anytime somebody's in my blind spot, it's going to indicate there. Now I'm going to put my turn signal on so you can hear the beep here. So let's say that we get this this vehicle right here. There we go. And you heard that beep. So What that is, somebody's in your blind spot, you have your turn signal on, you're trying to make that move into the lane, and the CRV is beeping just to indicate to let you know, don't make the move into the lane, there's somebody there. So you have visual and audible sounds like I had mentioned before. Now the lane keep assist system, I'm going to demonstrate that now. Once we get over 45 miles an hour and we stay centered in one lane, the camera is actually going to map out the lines in the road. Now if I start to slightly drift out of the middle of the lane, it's going to vibrate and slightly pull me back into the center of the lane there. So I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to demonstrate it again. And there it is. And that will work left or right, of course. It's a very, very smooth ride. As I mentioned before, you have the 1.5 liter turbo engine, which is going to give it a lot of pickup, a lot of pep. Again, you have 190 horsepower, which is plenty for a smaller SUV like the CR-V. Now you do have the CVT transmission, which I had mentioned before, is going to offer with the turbo engine that great gas mileage. So both of them combined are going to give you that good gas mileage. But the CVT, continuous variable transmission, that's the acronym. Instead of having a 5 or 6-speed automatic transmission where you feel the vehicle shifting in gears, the CR-V actually only has one gear that constantly adjusts the gear ratio depending on how you're driving the vehicle and where you're driving the vehicle, whether it's in town, stop and go, or out on the highway at a higher speed. So I got the nice leather wrap steering wheel here, leather wrap shifter knob. You'll notice the wood accents on the dash and the doors here. That gives the CR-V a nice look. What's really great about the upgrade from 2017 and 2018, the redesign has just been terrific for Honda. Everybody is completely excited about it. The CR-V is taking off. It's one of the highest selling SUVs, compact SUVs in the market. So it's doing very, very well. Looks has a lot to do with it, you know. Not only does it drive real well, it looks real nice. And on top of that, the CR-V is one of the top models to hold its value. So you're looking on a return on investment, the CR-V is a great way to go. When I'm going around turns, I'm going to feel the steering kind of stiffen up a little bit, and that's the road departure also coming into play and helping me out. So this really comes into play when you're on the windy roads, on the back roads. You'll really feel the steering stiffen up and kind of hold its position in a turn, and that's designed to keep you on your intended path. Again, it's the lane keep assist system, keeping you centered in the lane. I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy leather interior. And I'll tell you, the leather seats here feel terrific. The seat cushion is nice and soft. It's not too hard. Some vehicles you get in, especially when they're new, they're a little bit stiff, and over time they start to kind of wear in. But there's a lot of vehicles out there that really have some stiff seating, which I'm not a fan of. The CR-V is not like that at all, completely the opposite, very comfortable. I'll demonstrate that 1.5. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of gas coming onto the highway. And right up to speed. I don't know if you need it any quicker than that. We're talking about a lot of pickup. It's a really smooth ride. You'll love it. In the all-wheel drive system, you're going to have mainly a front-wheel drive vehicle. This sets us apart from some of the other manufacturers that are out there. For instance, Subaru, to use as an example. Subaru's all-wheel drive system, all 4 wheels are the drive wheels, so it's diverting power to all of them, which wears down all the tires at the same time as well. So when you go to change your tires, you have to get all 4 brand new tires. With Honda's all-wheel drive system, you're mainly a front-wheel drive vehicle. When your wheels start to slip, it'll automatically engage in all-wheel drive. There is no buttons that you have to push, and the reason why they do that, the system does it faster than you could push a button. So that's just how the all-wheel drive systems are working these days. And then it will divert the power where it's needed, whether it's more power to the rear wheels, front wheels, side to side. And then whenever you get out on dry pavement, it'll be back in front wheel drive. So your your tires are going to actually wear first on the front versus the rear, and then you can rotate your tires. So that's a little bit different from the other all-wheel drive systems out there. Also with the CR-V, you have a 5-star crash test rating. In fact, it's actually 5-star plus, okay? So let me explain this. 5 star is really the highest that you can get. Honda, and not to brag, has put themselves in a completely separate safety segment in the market, 5-star plus. So if you can be any better than 100%, Honda's actually there. So some of the safest vehicles on the road. In fact, in my opinion, the safest ones on the road. So any of you that are just starting out looking at the new CR-V, and maybe have had some older generation CR-Vs, the one thing that you're really going to notice is how quiet the cabin is. So that's something that they changed from 16, excuse me, into 17 in the 18 model. They've added some extra insulation to dampen the sound. Actually, there's noise canceling speakers inside of the car. So even when the speakers are on, or even when they're off, they're actually breaking up that sound that you get from the outside. Also in the wheel wells, there's some extra insulation. So if you have any rocks that kick up, you're not going to get a tingy metal sound. It's going to be dampened as well. So they really did a great job of making the cabin very, very quiet in the new CR-V. So another thing that Honda has with the new CR-Vs is an information button on the steering wheel. Okay, it's on the left-hand side. And when I press that, I can access a few different things to show up here on the dash. Number one, I can have, it looks like a fuel pump, and that's going to show you my range, how many miles till empty, my average fuel efficiency, as well as a bar that will slide forward and backward, give you my, I guess, immediate fuel efficiency, or my miles per gallon. It's a instant fuel economy gauge, if you will. Also, up top, you're going to see a light that will turn green and then actually turn white as you're driving the vehicle. Whenever you use the accelerator, it's turning white. Anytime you let off on the accelerator, it's going to turn green, or when you're coasting, it will turn green. That's basically just a CR-V telling you that you're driving it the best way possible. Also, you have your navigation system. So any destination that you have on your navigation, the turn-by-turn directions will show up here on the dash. But if you don't have navigation, you can just simply click on the compass. It'll tell you the road that you're on and the direction that you're going. Also, you have a coffee cup here. This is your driver attention level system. This is really neat. I think you guys will like this. In the first 20 minutes of driving the CR-V, you're the most alert, obviously in the morning. In the first 20 minutes, the CR-V will learn how you drive the vehicle based off your throttle patterns and your hand positions. If those start to change, the vehicle will indicate driver attention level. It'll actually bring it up, indicating that you're tired and you might need to take a break or switch drivers. It'll actually go down the 1 bar. If it does, it'll actually vibrate the wheel and give you a last warning to change drivers or take a break. So it's always working for you, making sure that you're safe. Also, you have your all-wheel drive system that you can watch working real time if you care to see that. Your maintenance minder, which is going to let you know when you get the oil changed. The music notes will show any music that you have playing. There's also a phone, which will indicate if you have an incoming call or any outbound phone calls. And lastly, you can change your miles per hour to kilometers if you take the CR-V up to Canada. Now, the warranty on the Hondas, you're going to have a 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. And that's really, really great for Honda, especially newer vehicles in general. There's a lot of electronics. So you have that to back you up, and that takes care of all the internal features, all the bells and whistles, the motor for the seat, the motor for the sunroof, the full touchscreen and navigation system and everything. So you have that again for 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. And the powertrain is 5 years, 60. So that's going to give you protection with your engine, drivetrain, transmission, and your all-wheel drive system. So you have a very extensive warranty to back you up. Also, when you purchase a vehicle with us, you do get a discount on your first oil change, and as well as lifetime free inspections as long as you have the vehicle in your name. Now, I did want to demonstrate the backup camera for you. So right here on the dash, as soon as I put the vehicle in reverse, we're going to get 3 camera angle views. You're going to have a wide angle view so you can see traffic coming from either side. Also, you have the cross detection warning system, which is this little button on the right hand side. I can turn it off or on. When you see the green light, that means it's on. And what that will do is indicate if somebody's coming from behind you. In fact, it's very sensitive. So if you have anybody coming from the left or the right, it's going to indicate on the touchscreen which direction they're coming, and it'll also beep inside of the cabin. What's nice about the backup camera, when I turn my wheel, the dynamic guidelines change color to give my projected angle into a parking spot. So for instance, if I wanted to, let's say, get into this spot here, I can kind of predict when I'm going to get into that spot there. Now I have a second camera angle view that gives me more of a straight on view when I go to make my park, and it's neat because I can line it up, the grid, with the lines on the in the parking space. And then also I have a straight down view that gets me a look straight down to the ground. I can back right up against the curb without hitting it, or maybe even back up right against a car without hitting one. Also, for any of you that have trailer hitches, this is terrific. I mean, you line it up perfectly each time. So, for all of you that are viewing the video, you may ask, why should I go to Smail Honda to buy a vehicle? Well, we're one of the larger Honda dealerships in the area, so we have great inventory. Also, we have a friendly staff. The sales staff, management, service, the owners, general managers, everybody is friendly. So you can come in, take a look at a vehicle, not feel pressured into buying anything. I'm a consumer just like anybody else. I just want to be able to go into a place and not feel like I have to buy anything. Get a sales consultant that actually cares about what I need and takes the time to figure out what vehicle is the best one for me, and that's what we do. Also, it's just a nice vehicle to bring, and also it's a nice place to bring your vehicle back for service. Our service department is A+. These guys have awards many years running for the state of Pennsylvania as being one of the top service stations, especially for Honda. The sales department as well. They win awards for President's Award many years in a row. I believe it's 8 years in a row, if I'm correct, which is a great accomplishment. So, and you need to have your customer satisfaction index very high in order for that to happen. And customer satisfaction index is exactly what it sounds like. How much our customers are satisfied. And they're very, very satisfied. So when you come into Smail Honda, you really can take your time and figure out what vehicle is going to be the best one for you. We have great prices. We have great inventory, as I mentioned before. We have some certified pre-owned vehicles as well, especially with the Hondas. So even if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, we have 2 pre-owned lots as well. So Honda certified vehicles and pre-owned. And that's the ride along in the brand new 2018 Honda CR-V Touring. I hope you enjoyed the ride as much as I did. Come on in and visit us on Route 30 here in Greensburg, PA, and ask for me, Justin Thompson, or visit us online at smailhonda.com. Thanks for watching.